Welcome to the Business Cafe. I'm Phil Jokes, aka Coach Phil. It's because people are challenged with my last name. It's a crazy thing in the English language. Some people would think it was a hard G. Anyway, I'm excited to be here to save you some time or frustration in and around something that I refer to as the cycle of learning, or the four stages of learning. And we've all gone through these in everything that we've done, from riding a bicycle, reading a book, writing, becoming a proficient speaker, entrepreneur, salesperson, father, uncle, brother, mother. So the learning cycle, there's four areas, and the four areas are unconscious incompetence, consciously incompetent, conscious competence, and then the final one is unconscious competence. Think about the time that you took on something brand new and you were feeling awkward, uncomfortable. You kind of didn't know what you didn't know. And let's pick it was driving. When you first started driving, you couldn't have the stereo on. You couldn't maybe even have passengers in the vehicle, or maybe they couldn't talk to you while you're driving because you're thinking there with your conscious mind, trying to figure things out. Well, that's kind of at the stage where you don't know what you don't know. And then as you get some skill development, you move over to the consciously incompetent or conscious incompetence. So this is basically where you are aware of the skill, but you haven't become proficient in it. And by practicing, visualizing, studying, and improving your skill and your competencies, what ends up happening is then you get to move into the consciously competent area, or conscious competence. And this is where you're able to actually use the skill, but only with effort. So again, this is where you're thinking about what it is you're doing. Some things are starting to become second nature, but you still consciously have to put the foot on the clutch and the foot on the gas pedal, and put it into gear if you're driving a stick or a standard. And as you do that and have repetition, and that's one of the keys to learning in the learning cycle, is constant spaced repetition. And once you do that, then you jump into the unconscious competence, performing the skill automatically or habitually. It becomes second nature. It's just like you to be able to do whatever the activity is, in this case, driving. You could have the radio on, you could have the arm around the girlfriend or the boyfriend, change gears, maybe send a text, although that's against the law. Your ability to do a few more things at the same time without worrying about where you're going and what you're doing is where you end up getting to. So it's actually a cycle from unconscious incompetence, like you're unaware of the skill and the lack of your proficiency. Then you become consciously incompetent, and you're aware of the skill, but not yet proficient at it. It's not, you're still learning and developing. And the next step is conscious competence, which is where you actually understand what the skill is, but it's still an effort consciously to think about it. And then you move into the unconsciously competent, habitually able to do things without thinking. And matter of fact, if you use driving as the example, you can take a trip somewhere, a 20-minute trip or a 2-hour trip, and do all the things you need to do for course correction as the driver of the vehicle, and not consciously think about what you do to avoid oncoming traffic, or making a passing happen, passing the vehicle safely, or slowing down to get to the off-ramp, or speeding up to get on the off. You don't consciously think about it. You just do it. And you probably, when you're driving, you're not thinking too much about the mechanics of driving. You're thinking more about the trip itself. And you might not even remember all the things you did to get to where you're trying to get to. That's because you've habituated it, made it second nature. What's exciting about this cycle is as you gain skills, competencies in an area, and you increase your second nature skill set, what ends up happening is, as you've developed that ability to do that, you can end up taking on more bigger things. The horizon has changed. You can see things that you couldn't have seen before you've learned and developed a skill. So just know that every time you go through the cycle of these 4 areas, that you're going to increase your competencies. You're going to have some unknown things that you don't know about. You're going to have the opportunity to learn and develop so that it becomes habitual. And once you've done that, then challenge yourself what's next. And you can leverage the experiences and lessons that you've had previously with other things that you've learned and turned into habitual thinking from not knowing how to do it and going through the cycle. It's a non-stop thing. We're always growing and evolving. Life is a journey, not a destination. So if you think of that in your day-to-day life, that this is normal, it'll serve you well. And I encourage you to try it and give me your feedback. I'm on Facebook and this is on YouTube. If you see this live, comment. If you see it later on as a rerun, let me know what your thoughts are about the 4 stages of learning and how it's applied in your life. Or maybe there's something that you've done and done it in a different way. Share that with us as well. I look forward to it. One of the things for listening is if you're a business owner and you want to know how to accelerate your profit, I've got a way to actually help you find $100,000 of hidden potential in your business without spending a penny or on marketing and or advertising. And if you're a business owner, reach out to me. Let me know you're interested. Let's set up a time where we can explore that and find that potential. Currently, there's no charge for this. Doing it for free for anybody who's interested as a business owner. That's it for today's Business Cafe. My name is Phil Jones. There's my email address and a couple of websites that I'm at. So if there's something in here that resonates with you, or if you have a question that you'd like to pose at the Business Cafe, shoot me an email, send me a DM. Happy to respond to it in a way that benefits you. All the best and much success.